ANC's tripartite alliance partner, the SACP, has also commended the ex-speakers for her resignation, saying it shows respect for the ANC's step-aside rule. The SACP's Dr. Alex Mashilo joins us for more. Dr. Mashilo, good evening. Thanks very much for your time. Perhaps the same question I asked the national spokesperson of the ANC, why you think this was an honorable, proactive thing that she did.
Thank you very much, Rio. After the allegations were widely broadcast, the Speaker of the National Assembly approached the Court of Law to launch a bid against what she had was coming her way, and the court reached a different conclusion. So it was the right thing to approach a court of law, because that is what these courts are established to do, rather than to embark on a process which is not a legal process and which may end up being unhelpful, if not causing more harm than good. Now, the court has made a determination, and the resignation that we saw coming forward yesterday was after the determination made by the court. So she showed her respect for the determination made by the court, and in her resignation she was forthright that she could not continue to carry out her functions effectively as the Speaker of the National Assembly in the light of the widespread allegations that she faces. Given that Parliament is an institution in terms of the Constitution, mandated to make laws and to exercise oversight on the executive arm of the state or the cabinet. So when you play that function and at the same time you are facing the allegations that she faces, which are likely to be had in the court of law, given the reports that we all know, you were not going to perform your functions effectively. And her decision, therefore, is a correct decision. Let us also emphasize that the decision goes beyond the step-aside resolutions and guidelines adopted by the ANC. You will notice that in terms of the step-aside resolution, she could have simply stepped aside as the Speaker of the National Assembly and remained a member of Parliament while addressing the allegations she faces in an appropriate forum, as she says. However, she set a precedent. Not only did she step aside, but she resigned completely. This poses a challenge to those within our movement who will find themselves in the situation that she found herself. Because this is not only a step aside, it is a complete resignation from her role.
No one is arguing, or I haven't heard a person arguing that this, what she did, or approaching the courts was a wrong thing. Everyone is entitled to that. We can talk about moral and other questions beyond that, but everyone says the right of a person to approach the courts when they are aggrieved has to be respected. But the question is whether she did that proactively, as your organization, the ANC, claims to have been the case, or whether she showed respect for the ANC's step-aside rule, as you, as the South African Communist Party, has suggested. And to touch on a point you touched on, that people go further to say the resignation, in fact, had nothing to do with anything other than her seeking to ensure that she protects her pension. Just your thoughts on those questions.
There was a trigger for her to approach the court of law, as she says in her resignation, is because there were allegations that had become widespread. Prior to that, we saw a statement that she released about her dissatisfaction with the manner in which either the police or the Hawks or the NPA investigative directorate rather handled the matter. So instead of issuing a statement as she did, which ended like a political statement, she did the right thing by approaching the court of law. So that is quite important. As you know, there are people who face allegations in different political parties, the ANC included, who have just issued political statement and did nothing about that. There were just some few cases recently where the court ruled against someone who made widespread allegations against several ministers and the ANC SG, and the court made a determination against the behavior of that person. So Mapisa-Nqakula has taken a step further. And just to say this, it was clear that there is an imminent arrest or there is a process. So you don't want to cause problems or you don't want to cause harm. If actually you make considerations about the positions you hold. I mean, people cannot call, for example, as we have had in our political spectrum, for someone to resign. And when the person resigns voluntarily, then you say, no. That is the wrong thing to do. It was motivated by other things. I think we must accept to learn from the good faith conduct that other people engage in.
Okay, speaking of political statements, the former speaker's lawyer today told the court that there is a political motive behind her prosecution. Your thoughts? And also because, I mean, you and I know we've seen many ANC leaders making this allegation whenever they have had to confront allegations of impropriety or wrongdoing.
The allegations are made at an appropriate forum. That is the court of law. And the court of law must make a determination whether the allegations hold water or not. So we do not want to preempt what the court would say, because you do not go to the court of law to make an allegation without evidence. So you make an allegation, you present your evidence, and you allow the judge or the bench of judges to make a determination. So in this instance, the determination that the court will make will be important. If the court confirms that indeed there was political motivation, then there will be a problem.
But we know that, I mean, this is a claim senior politicians at that make ever so often, but without ever producing even a shred of evidence.
You are right. Many have made that claim. This time the claim is made in a court of law for the court to make a determination. So let us allow the court to make a determination, because we can reach our own conclusions before the court makes the determination, only to find that we are wrong. So this is different from issuing statements that there are political motives and doing nothing legal about it. So the allegations have been made in a court of law. Let us hear what the court of law will say. And then we will then return to the point you are making, that indeed the court has rejected the claim or the court has accepted it based on evidence, and this is how now we will be moving forward. Rather than making a determination ourselves, second guessing the court before it reaches that point.
Well, I can bet you that, it will be difficult for a court of law to make a determination on allegations of political conspiracies. But thank you so much for your time, Dr. Mashilo. Really appreciate it. He's a national spokesperson for the South African Communist Party.